Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I'm glad to be here. I've been thinking about our conversation last week and the concept of truly focusing in on family leadership. Is it possible that you could operate from a different set of principles when you're in your workplace than you do when you're in your home with your family? I think it's possible, but I don't think it's congruent, and I think the one affects the other. I look at the Brower quadrant, at the quadrants that we've established that have become a guideline for us, really, for how to make decisions and how to think. It's been to provide the context. Sometimes we call it the fruit basket. With all of the things coming at us day to day, how do we collect everything and how do we think about things differently? As I've been thinking about leadership, I've been thinking about being proactive in my days. I look at the four quadrants maybe through a different set of eyes or maybe a little bit deeper. Let me share that with you. If you recall, the four quadrants are up in the left-hand quadrant is the core, those things that matter most, our health, our values, our family, that are intrinsic to us. In the northeast quadrant, then, are our experiences. They're extrinsic, those things that we make happen, our reputation, our networks, alliances, our education, our good experiences and our bad experiences. Down in the southeast quadrant, and this may be backwards for you when you're looking at it through a mirror, but in the southeast quadrant, that would be those things that demonstrate gratitude through our contributions. How do we contribute more to this planet than what we consume? And then finally, over in the southwest quadrant are those things that we have routinely called our financial wealth, and the financial wealth that falls into that category, which I think you know what that is. We're going to go a little bit deeper into each one now for just a moment. So when I think of core and thinking about it in terms of how do I create an empowering question, a question that I can ask myself each day and I can vary it each day so that it becomes a guiding tool for me throughout that day. So I think of core under the concept of, let's call it essentialism. What is essential to me? If I understand what's essential to me, and I have the courage to say no to the very important so that I can capture the essential for me, then it becomes something that is a great motivator for me. And it's at the core, understanding what is the most valuable thing for me. And so the empowering question, can I align my efforts and choices today with what God's purpose is for me? Am I, or is this opportunity or choice that I have, is it aligned with God's purpose for me, my greater purpose? So I guess the question really is, can I align my efforts and choices today? In alignment, can I align them with what God sees for me? So that's an empowering question then. So I've written this down now. I've put it inside the Empowered Wealth Journal so that I can review it each morning very quickly, but just to see if I can't center. And that experience quadrant, that's all about intentionality, knowing not only why you're going someplace, because that's coming from your core, but what you're doing and where you're going. Where can I go today? What can I use today that's more of an external thing? So being really proactive in my intentions. So let's call it intentionality. Know where I'm going and what I'm doing. So can I create or recognize learning opportunities today? For me, that's one that stays right on top of it, because if I can learn from my experiences, if I can ask questions today that I've never asked before, then today's been an extremely successful day. Now let's look down into that southeast quadrant. How do I give more than I consume? So I could ask, my empowering question could be, what can I do for others today without any expectation? For a couple of years now, one of my empowering questions each day is, can I be the answer to somebody's prayer today? I don't know if I ever have been the answer to somebody's prayer, but certainly by asking the question, it opens me up so I can say, what can I do for others today without expecting anything in return, with no expectation. And then finally, in the financial, let's not call it financial, because financial is that's the one that everybody relates to, but let's call it more about value creation, my relationship with the world. And as I create value in this world, it's not uncommon to be rewarded financially, but the greatest rewards really come in other forms, but we measure it financially. So when you really think about what is it that we do provide when we create value? Well, in Strategic Coach, Dan Sullivan has taught us all that the three things that we do in value creation are leadership, relationship, and creativity. And my perspective on that is leadership provides direction. People want to know where to go. They want to be attracted to you. So in this particular quadrant, it's all about attraction. How can I attract those greater opportunities and greater relationships to me? So it's about providing leadership. Relationship instills confidence. It instills trust. And so people have confidence and trust that you're able to give them direction with confidence. And the third thing is creativity. And I think creativity creates motivation. It creates momentum. It creates excitement. And so it creates that inspiration, if you will, to be able to move forward. And so that's really what I see that as opposed to being the financial quadrant. So what can I do today that will attract great value? What can I do today that will attract great value and or rewards for those I serve and those I care about and love? So what can I do today that will attract great value and rewards for those that I care about and love, those that I serve and love? So, gratitude is an amazing principle. If we always go big, the way I go big is to review these 4 areas each day, to begin in gratitude, and then ask myself, how can I express gratitude? I know, I have a saying that I created to help me along that just says, gratitude unexpressed is ingratitude perceived. Ungratitude, let's see, let me rephrase it. Gratitude unexpressed is ingratitude perceived. And I know that I have gratitude in my heart so many times. I think you do too. We always feel gratitude, but if we don't express it, then that person that was looking for it feels as though we've been ungrateful. So how can I express more gratitude each day? I hope these 4 areas have been helpful to you to kind of think about your week, about your day, staying aligned truly as leaders and leaders in your family and in your business. My prediction is if we'll follow these 4 things each day, we will become better together. I look forward to talking to you next week. I have something special I'll share with you next week. I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Have a wonderful and a meaningful week. Bye-bye.